on a Gab.
All right. So today we are with Joe, Bradley, and Oisin from Southern Hospitality. They are calling in directly from Republic down in Charleston. How are you guys?
Gibson,
Phenomenal.
we're doing
How are you?
fantastic. I feel like we were just together in Vegas.
We were just, last time I saw you was 2 a.m. in the lobby of some hotel in Vegas. So
That was a blast.
yeah, it's a blurry night. All right. So I just watched the premiere last night, and based on that and the trailer, it seems like season 2 of Southern Hospitality is going to be a huge level up, just in terms of like everything. Drama, it's going to be chaotic. You guys, I think, are really stepping into your roles at Republic. What was in the water? And that's literally because I mean, you guys can't drink alcohol at work anymore. What was in the water this year? Like, what was different this year from last year?
I would say, everyone was just a little bit more comfortable. Like we really got to dive into the dynamic of our friend group more. Everyone was already on edge, starting our busy season with someone being fired and then losing Mia already. Everything was kind of heightened. And that's literally the first week of our busy season.
Crazy.
So that was kind of a lot to deal with going into it all. But I think everyone is just, ready to get after it, to put it lightly.
Yeah, I feel like I should blame Oisin, but because he's like, this new force of nature coming in. But right off the bat, Oisin, we became really good friends with him. And I just feel like everyone was just like a little bit on edge this summer. Like you'd think that if we were drinking less at work, then it should be like a summer where we get our shit together. But it was kind of the opposite. It's definitely was hurricane season in Charleston. So
Maybe you guys overcorrect a little bit because you can't drink at work. You just
maybe we were having withdrawals and
and if not that, like anything that happened outside of work too, like just got amplified because we're obviously blowing off steam and obviously all the dragons started coming out. So
yeah. Joe, last year we saw that you had this sort of like will they, won't they thing with Maddie going on. And obviously she ends up in a relationship with Trevor. It's tumultuous. We see in this premiere that like the cheating potentially has not stopped. They're still kind of going through it. What was it like seeing her go through some of those hardships with Trevor kind of after everything that you guys have been through in the past together? And like, I don't know, like because I feel like you're in an interesting position when it comes to that whole situation.
Yeah, no, for sure. And even if me and Maddie are so close, even if I loved her boyfriend and they went through like a bad breakup, I still like would have been there for her. I think a lot of people might just automatically jump to the conclusion that I'm like licking my chops. I'm like, all right, this is my time. But when it comes down to it, whenever one of my friends are hurt, whether it would have been Oisin or Bradley, anyone in the group, I would be upset about that. But part of me, I'd be lying to you if I wasn't a little bit optimistic, because I feel like Maddie is her worst self when she's with him. And so like maybe part of me was like, maybe this is a good thing. Maybe she can kind of put this to rest and put that toxicity behind her. But as you guys will see throughout the season, it definitely lingers and it affects a lot of our relationships. And yeah, it's I was kind of, part of me was happy and part of me was sad to see her hurt.
Right, totally. And Bradley, we saw you were the one who sort of like lit the match in the premiere. You brought the information from your client who said she had made out with Trevor to Republic. It starts to get around that first night that we see in the premiere. Was that was it a mix of like trying to be a good friend to Maddie and tell her what was happening, or were you also trying to be a little messy?
100% a little bit of both. I feel somewhat bad,
right.
But at the same time, like you chose to go back with the guy that's already cheated on you, so like for this to happen again, it's like kind of like instant karma. Like, is it unfortunate that you got cheated on? Yeah. But also, is it very fortunate that it was my client? Absolutely. I love that. So I did get a little bit of joy in sharing the news, but regardless if I'm friends with someone or not, if I'm getting cheated on and you hear about it, I want to know. Like, I don't care if we don't like each other or not, but like if you're getting embarrassed or played or looking stupid, like you should know that at least what's going on.
Right. And Oisin, you're new to this group, and you met Maddie and Grace in Tulum, and I feel like that is a time of their life that we hear a lot about, but we don't really like have a full picture of what was going. I feel a lot happened in Tulum when however long they were there. What was that time like, and like what was it like bringing kind of jumping into their life in Charleston?
Honestly, there was no expectation like going into Charleston. Like Maddie and Grace didn't really kind of give me a heads up too well. They kind of made it seem like it was all smooth sailing. I'd never really been to the South before, so it was a complete change. But even just them as people, like when we met in Tulum, it was obviously a wild time. You know, I was very much in the depths of all the parties there. And we, you know, the girls were working in a couple of events that I was throwing as well out there. So, I mean, we were just honestly, we were on a rampage when we were in Tulum. We were just having a great time. It was absolutely just hectic. And then to come into Charleston, you know, Maddie's in a relationship. Grace was in a relationship too. So it was a complete different dynamic. And I kind of thought we were coming in to have a hot girl summer and the girls mentioned this a couple of times, but it was just very much like I was confused about what they were doing. And again, I just stuck to my gun.
You just made do, right?
I just did what I do, mate. And like, yeah, maybe there's you know, I poked the bear a few times, but I think that was probably the biggest difference, like seeing them like in their environment, in their town, and with all their people, and like, you know, it was a complete different chapter of the book for sure.
Right. Joe, you know, you recently made a little pop-up on Watch What Happens Live in the audience with Danielle, and it seems like something happened at BravoCon. You're there to support her. It was kind of cryptic though. What's the deal with you two?
Yeah, so I'm still kind of confused of, you know, where this is gonna go, but right now I think we're just having fun. I was just like, you know, I wasn't expecting to like find love in the hopeless place of Vegas, but it was very organic and it happened very fast. I think it was like a lot of like built up sexual tension between us, and then like we finally hung out like the last night, and like when you know, it went really well, to the point where I was like, she invited me to New York. I thought she was just kind of like kidding, you know. I do it all the time when you're drinking. You're like, oh yeah, come visit Charleston.
Of course,
stay
yeah.
with me. Then the next day she's like, okay, cool. Like, when's your flight? You're coming, right? And so
I love
you
it.
know what? When you know, and I booked the flight. I thought I was just gonna be supporting her back in the green room at Watch What Happens, but Andy walks in, he goes, hey, you got your mic on, Joking Joe? And I was I you know, you can't say no to that. So I was not.
So Andy pushed to make it a little more public than you maybe were ready for.
I think Andy was, you know, I think he was eating it up. I think he likes that, because
Yeah, he definitely does.
BravoCon's so amazing. So like when he sees the crossover, but for me, I wasn't, you know, I really like the girl, and I think she's gonna come visit Charleston in the next few weeks. So
Awesome. Danielle's great. So I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Bradley, you were the object of some rumors last year about your personal life, and we saw some tumultuous stuff there. How did that impact how you went into this season? And it seems like you're maybe a little bit more focused on work in some respects, but not, I don't know. How did it, because your body, I mean, your personal training business is doing so well too. So like it must have kind of refocused you a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I think going into this year, I wanted to make sure that, you know, I was putting the right amount of time and energy and effort into my business. You know, that's my baby. You know, if you don't water the grass, then it's not going to grow. So I really put a lot of energy into that, but also with that work hard mindset, I do like to play hard. So like I definitely had a fun summer. I definitely let loose, and I'm really excited for the season for people to kind of get to know me more. I'm not going to, you know, be on the screen defending myself the whole time. You actually get to know who I am as a person.
Good.
Kind of get deeper into what I'm about. So I'm excited.
Good. Oisin, it seems like there's a moment in the trailer where you have your sights set on Emmy potentially, or even though she's in a relationship with Will. What is to come from that? Because that just spells mess to me.
Oh, I know. Well, look, as I said, like I'm unapologetic myself the whole time, and I can't spill too much on that area right now. But I can tell you that, like, I think me and Will we clashed a little bit at the beginning. I think it was completely not. This wasn't even part of the whole Emmy thing at that time. But you know, obviously, Emmy's like, you know, one of the leaders of the Bottle Girls. I just joined the team, so I'm a guy's girl, you know, so I get along with all the girls pretty well, and I think that maybe things got interpreted on Will's side, and I kind of just let it be, because I was like, I love getting underneath that prick skin. If he's gonna be a dick, like, I'm gonna be one right back, and I think that you'll see it all unfold, So I just play along with a lot of the stuff, but yeah, like, I have a flirtatious banter about me, and yeah, it might get me in a bit of trouble. Who knows?
Joe and Bradley, do you agree with that assessment of that situation?
Yeah, I would.
Yes,
Okay, good.
definitely.
Oisin, he is no problem in the ladies department. He does very well, but it's very polarizing. Some girls love the milkman and some are definitely lactose intolerant.
No one ever cried over spilled milk,
I feel like with Bradley, it's pretty unanimous. Like, I feel like I've never really met like any girls that like don't like him, but then with Oisin, with a lot of girls, but sometimes it doesn't.
There's more than one way to milk a cow, right?
Yeah.
This metaphor just
yeah, I love it.
And then a lot of girls think they're dairy free, like Grace Lilly, but they're really not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but not everyone's lactose intolerant, That's
Okay. So Oisin, you and Grace Lilly potentially.
Oh no! I was just
No?
I was alluding to Grace, thinking she was.
Oh,
she was
got
dairy
it.
free.
Oh, literally. Okay, got it.
There's a lot of summer romances this season.
Yeah. So I mean, with in Charleston, there's 2 shows that get filmed, and there's 2 friend groups that definitely have a lot of overlap. We have Southern Hospitality and Southern Charm. Leva's obviously on both shows. I know that all of you guys are sort of friends with different people across the different casts. There's so many kind of mixed connections. And I'm curious what that's like, just like living in a small town like Charleston. Oisin, like, you're coming into it totally new and kind of seeing 100%. All of this. It must be pretty wild for all of you in different ways.
I mean, just on my side, like, I'd never been to Charleston, and I was very unfamiliar with the South. So, like, just kind of taking in all that new culture and being around this small town vibe, like, it reminded me a lot of back home, like in Ireland. I'm from a very small town as well. But this place has just got, it's more elevated. There's there's more top shelf tier of people, and there's a lot of, everyone knows what you're having for breakfast in that town. It's like, there's nothing goes under the radar whatsoever. So I think that literally just coming into that world, like, right off the bat, especially with these guys coming off the back of season 1, it was just like, it was insane. It was a lot to take in, but again, nothing I couldn't handle in my realm,
Right. What about for you guys, Joe and Bradley?
Yeah, I think that I personally, there's not really anyone on Southern Charm that I don't get along with, but like, even if like we didn't like click with them as friends, like we'll see them out regardless, because we're kind of the forefront of nightlife, and we're all very kind of connected. But yeah, it's really interesting to kind of like, even Rod and JT, to see them going through. They're much older than us, but we kind of all look at each other as like brothers. Me and Brad have been friends with Rod and JT for like years now. Even before I moved here, like 5 years ago, I've known them. And for them to kind of go through the TV thing the same year as us, and to be like more established, like successful, like real adults, it's an amazing thing. We have like this new bond now. And then like, a lot of the guys like Shep, Austin, Craig, I look up to those guys. They've been doing it for years, and to have them treat us as like equals and help us out, it's a good feeling. We love it.
For sure. Yeah, getting to know a lot of the Charm cast are some of my clients. So like, I kind of, am behind the scenes, like, as a personal trainer, you're also a part-time therapist too. I don't have a degree, but I give advice like I do. And it's cool to see the overlap, and it's cool, both shows having some success and getting to know everyone on a deeper level, and really valuing like genuine friendships with everyone.
Yeah, that's interesting to hear about Rod and JT kind of going through the TV thing at the same time that you guys are. And did you guys sort of look at each other for advice, or was it just, were you kind of operating in your own different realms?
I really think we definitely like share like encouraging words, or like, sometimes some episodes are harder than others, and stepping into that realm, they were in such a unique space with having these established guys, especially with Chef Craig and Austin. They've been on the show since pretty much day one. For them to come in and shake the table is definitely harder for them, I think, than all of us being brand new in the space. But we definitely like kind of lean on each other, you know, shoot them a text every once in a while whenever they come in to see me, you know, just try and encourage each other.
Yeah, totally. I mean, for all of you guys, you know, speaking of that sort of co-mingling of the two casts, Leva's on both casts and she's also your boss. And we see this, at least in this premiere, that like some people seem to be very comfortable, like kind of towing that line of, you know, talking back to her and, you know, she kind of being a peer, but also a boss. And there are just a lot of blurred lines, I feel like, in where you guys work. You know, what do you make of Leva's position and all of that? And do you guys, is it just certain people that feel that way? Or I don't know, it's interesting to see.
It is weird. You just, you know, like any profession, you got to know where to draw the line in the sand. And like, it's weird. Like I'll see, I'm invited to the same party. If JT's throwing a party, I'll be there. But like when we're at work and work mode goes on, Leva is your boss and you have to respect her as such. Like, it was just kind of off-putting to see like a few of our cast members get too comfortable at work because I take my job very seriously, and you know I don't want it to turn too corporate here with like the new drinking rules. Like she definitely cracks down this summer, but I get it. Like I'm not a business owner, but if I owned a business, I wouldn't want to see my employees getting too comfortable. And like you got to have that level of respect.
Right. Totally. All right. Let's end it on this. Who is the messiest this season on Southern Hospitality?
Messiest? I don't know. I think everybody plays their part this year.
Everyone's pretty messy. Like, I mean, Maddie's like nearly taking lead horse in this one, I think. But
I would agree. I definitely think Maddie would be the messiest, and then coming in with a close second, my friend Joe over here. It's a little messy this season.
Yeah, I think it just depends like what day of the week it is. I think we all take it. It's definitely like a giant ping pong match. Like I don't think that there's like any clear villain or protagonist in this. It's just there's gonna be a lot of opinions formed about everyone, but you're gonna see all of our best sides and all of our worst sides and everything in between. So I think it's very well balanced and that's what's scary about it.
And that's also what makes a good reality show. So, and that's what makes you guys good at your jobs. So, you guys, I'm really excited for everyone to see this premiere and just see the second season because I was a huge advocate of that first season, and I think that it seems like you guys are just totally leveling up this year, and I'm just excited for you guys to just be on that ride again.
Thank you. And Gibson, like we talked about, we need you to come visit Charleston.
I'm down. Yeah. We can send it. Republic. That night, you guys have to be off the clock, though. I'm not going when you guys.
That's the smart man.
I'm taking off that weekend.
Perfect. All right. Talk to you guys later. I want to gab.